Welcome to the Bayonets Countdown to November, a series of interviews with the candidates in the November 4th general election. I'm Dick Myers, and with me for this segment is Carrie Swartz, who's the Democratic candidate for St. Mary's County Treasurer. Her opponents are Republican Christy Kelly and Independent Steve Geller. Nice to have you here today.
Thanks for having me.
I'm going to start this off with a little bit of a story. I recently ran across, just by accident, a segment from the Gospel according to Matthew. And what it talked about was how someone should react if someone was doing things to them that were not nice or not right. So the response was, well, you should really go and talk to that person, try to work things out. And then Matthew says, well, if that doesn't help, then get a couple of people together and go together and try to work things out, and you'll have witnesses in case things don't work out. And then the next step was, well, go to your church and try to get the church to help you work things out. But in the end, Matthew says, if none of that works out, he says, treat him as you would a pagan or a tax collector. So I guess by that he was saying that a tax collector wasn't very well thought of. You are running for an office that has been held by someone who's been in for 20 years, and is probably the most well-respected public official in St. Mary's County. And I'm just wondering how that could be. She's a tax collector. I mean, that's not people don't like taxes to be collected. So, I mean, have you learned in talking to her and dealing with her how it is that, in fact, she has become a very popular person?
You know, I've spent time in the office. I think that she had a number of supporters just in her family from the beginning, but I also see that she takes the time to answer the phone and go to the desk, and she knows people by name. You know, I mean, people call in, and I was there right when the bills were due, and they actually, I mean, they were having a million calls because they were supposed to be sent out about a day or two earlier, and I never expected in my wildest dreams that people would be so ready to pay their bill. But they're literally calling the office, where's my bill, where's my bill? And Jan would pick up the phone, and she would have 5-10 minute conversations with people. Just, you know, then she'd say, okay, it's not out yet, but they're coming, here's what happened. And then she would, or about the election, or about things like that. So she has defined the office in a lot of ways. And, you know, she worked there prior. So, I mean, I think just her idea of what it should be, as well as her interaction with the people, is why she has so much respect.
So would you hope to emulate that?
I mean, I like a lot of what she does. I'm a different person, so of course I would put my own twist on it. But, you know, my first job is to just maintain what it's a very well-organized office. So my first job before I do anything is to continue to hold the office with a lot of integrity and maintain what she has already set up. And so, yeah, of course, I mean, she's my mentor at this point. So I looked at her.
She has supported you, right?
Oh yeah, she's been great. So, and the entire office, you know, it's been really important for me to go in there and spend time, because I don't think you can talk about an office, or none of us that are running have experience in this office. So I don't know how you can say you know what it needs if you don't spend time there or get to know the staff that's going to be there when you come in and things like that. So I have made that my number one priority, is to get to know her, get to know if I should win, you know, what it's going to take to transition to a new person, as well as, you know, work with and show the staff the utmost respect. I mean, they, in a sense, you know, Jan and I talked about this early on, they in a sense will be training the next person that comes in, because none of us have experience there. So I want to hit the ground running. I mean, I want to come in January and already be pretty well versed in things that, you know, will be going on, and I don't want there to be a lag of trying to learn the job, so, yeah.
So I think for the voters, the key is learning the three candidates, because you can't, sort of came out of the blue, no one knows.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't know a lot about you, except maybe your family and your friends, so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, you're absolutely right. There's three candidates. We're all very different, and we want the job for very different reasons. So I will say that I was the first one to file. A little about myself is that, well, I tutor math currently in the Tri-County area. So I have students all over, from Charles to Calvert, St. Mary's, and I tutor everything from middle school to high school math. I was at St. Mary's College from 2011 and 2013. I moved back home to Maryland in 2010. Grew up in the state, left only for 5 years to live on the Outer Banks. I had a business down there, so I'm familiar with the accounting and the taxation aspect of running this job. But I have a daughter, she's 3, and I really, since I've been here, since I've been at St. Mary's, my priority has been her. She's small, and so I do I've picked what to do and going back to school and things around trying to be home as much as possible. She is now at an age where she doesn't, you know, she kind of really wants to get out and be with kids and experience her own little life, and it's given me the opportunity to do more for myself. And so, yeah, I filed because this is the county she's going to grow up in. I want what's best for it, and she's about to enter the school systems and all of that, and I saw it as an opportunity to really jump into the community, jump into the politics of it, do something that I care about and that I know I could do well. Other than that, so I have a background in math and science. I have had my own business, and I mean, I have hobbies as far as I like to garden and, you know, spend time with my child as much as possible. But other than that, I mean, I'm just like anybody else.
What do you think attracted to you, the job to you, when you heard that there was a job available like that?
Oh yeah, well yeah, the number one thing is that there wasn't anybody in the office running, so it was an opportunity for just about anybody to come out and say, hey, you know, I have these talents that I want to bring to a bigger audience, a bigger stage. And it was an opportunity for just anyone. But what attracted me to it was that, well, with numbers, there's what I love about numbers and what I love about math is that there's a right or wrong. So in accounting, it's not like you can fudge it really, whereas in the rest of life, it's gray. And so that's a nice part of the job, but also that it was a non-issue seat. I tend to be a person that's on the moderate side. I do like to get all the information before I make a decision. I'm a rational thinker, and so it was attractive to me that I could just hone in on what was best for this job. It wasn't necessarily like the issues of the county. Does that make sense?
Yes,
yeah.
it does. Well, what do you think your personal stamp would be on the job?
Well, I do. First and foremost, I think that other than the people that I'm running against, I'm a highly creative person, and so I hear a lot that people want new things in there. I mean, we certainly need to bring it to a new generation. The county is booming, and at some point we are going to have to look at credit cards and online or things like that. In Jan's time, it wasn't growing like it is now, right? And it's worked for her, so she's continued to do it the same way. But my stamp would be that we need to mix some of the old with some of the new. You know, my own personality would be on it. I like to run things efficiently, smoothly, and organized, so that would be in there. And more than anything, I would keep the job an elected position. That's
Yeah, there
at
has
risk.
been talk about that in
Yeah.
the past, and some counties have gone the other way. Why do you think it should be elected?
Well, if it's not elected, okay, basically, there is a chance that could happen. I think that maybe one of my opponents is not being as clear with their intentions, what they plan to do at the office because of one of their relationships, very close in their life. But what would happen here is that basically it would meld into the finance department, and the people collecting the money would be the same people spending the money. And I there's a lot of chance of corruption in that, and so I just think that the idea of an independent, autonomous office is necessary when you're taking care of people's tax money.
So the idea of allowing people to use credit cards, what would be the pluses and minuses to weigh in moving in that direction?
I mean, she's explained to me that around 70-75% of what we collect in taxes now is automatically done through escrow. So only 25% of the population is having to pay their property taxes like through themselves, right? And currently we don't have an online system, and we don't have a credit card machine. It's cash or check, and you mail it into the office or you bring it in. I just think that as it grows, that 25% is going to be a greater number of people. And hey, I pay a lot of my stuff online. So there is a lot of convenience in allowing an individual to do that online. But it would have to be enough of a population for it to warrant the cost. So, so I don't know that there's any cons in it, other than the cost to the office and the budget. But
I don't know, could the cost be counterbalanced by maybe people paying quicker if they had the option of paying online?
Yeah, and that's another, yeah, I mean, that's another, if someone doesn't have the funds in their bank account, I mean, they get charged a fee if they're late. I mean, you can split it up in 2 payments, but if it goes beyond, then it goes to the tax sale, of course. So I'm not sure that that's something that would happen right this second, right? I mean, there's a lot that would have to be learned when I first went in there. We're dealing with all new software in January. So not only is the staff going to have to deal with a new boss after so many years, but there's been a software package that's been approved. And so everyone will be learning a new system as well as having a new boss. So that's something I think maybe a couple years we'll look at. And of course, there's different departments that we can talk to about that. But I'm sure it's just more about that you pay for every credit card used, and I'm sure that we could look at ways to counterbalance that.
So I'm not sure about this. Is part of the job investing the money that's collected as well?
Investing, not to my knowledge.
Okay, so you just you collect it and you turn it over.
Yeah, you have state audits, you have all kinds of things. There's money that's carried over, and for the things that aren't paid, then you take it to the tax sale the following year. And in the tax sale, yeah, I don't, to my knowledge, the treasurer doesn't do anything with that money.
So the investment is done by the county?
Yeah, I have very little say in how they allocate funds.
Okay.
I mean, they may ask my opinion, but I don't. We've seen that just with the software package I mentioned. I mean, the whole office said we didn't need it, and the commissioners pushed it through anyways, which was like $145,000. And I think it's fine. They saw an opportunity with Jan leaving to go ahead and put it through. And it's probably not, if you're going to do that, it's not a bad time to do that. But no, I don't. Other than your budget for the office and stuff, I don't think.
Has anybody had a chance to work with it yet, or does that happen in January?
Jan said that she has had a chance to work with it. She likes it better than what has been offered to her before. She says that it has a tax sale part of it, and that's the first time that it's ever been. There's a lot of misconception out there that Jan doesn't want technology and she doesn't want, newer age things. And I've not found that to be true. I think she just works the office, and she wants a software that works for her office, not for someone else to pick out that doesn't actually work the job. So that's my understanding.
Yeah, a part of it being an elected office is the campaigning. Have you enjoyed that aspect of it?
I really have. I'm almost sad for it to be over. There's only like 30 some days. I was pretty reclusive being a mom, and I had my students here or there, but ever since moving here, I really haven't been out and about and meeting people. So that's been really great. And I meet people from Charles, and you know, you get to listen to a lot of different opinions and a lot of different ideas, and I'm always up for that. So yes, I've enjoyed it a lot.
Okay, for folks that would like to get involved in your campaign, do you have a website, do you have a Facebook page? How
Yeah.
can people help you out?
Well, that would be great. I mean, I have a regular email, swartzfortreasurer@gmail.com. I have a Facebook page that's personal. You would just look up Carrie Swartz, or I'm sorry, elect Carrie Swartz, it is now. And then I also have the campaign page, which is Swartz for Treasurer. And I mean, they can always call me, but I don't know if I want to put my phone number out there. So we'll start with that.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
And thank you for joining us today on Countdown to November.